What is the graft limit per hair transplant? In this video we're going to talk about the ideal range of hair transplant grafts, how to go above that range, and the hidden damage that may only uncover later that you should avoid. And so why should you even listen to me? Well, my name is Jesse, my hair loss started at 19. I only took my hair loss seriously until 25. That's when I did the right things finally, like taking finasteride and minoxidil, things like that. And then when I needed to get a hair transplant done, I nearly chose the wrong clinic after 10 consultations, but still had found the right clinic and got a great hair transplant result. And I have had a hair transplant with only 1700 grafts. And in that time, between 25 and now, because I'm 28 right now, in that time, I've been very active on the hair loss subreddits, like the general hair loss, like trashless, but also the hair transplant subreddits. And I've also now helped over 300 men to overcome their hair loss. So you can see this was me in 2021, this was me at the end of 2024, and you can see the difference with me right here. The difference is pretty big and I'm very happy about it, but I'm still not done. I'm still in that journey myself, and I'm making these videos to make sure that you don't make the same mistakes that I nearly make or I see other people make every single day. So how to treat your donor area and also be as nice as possible to it as you can. So the thing is, your donor area isn't just a place to harvest graft from. That is such a misconception. Like, oh, you have the sensitive hairs up here, then you have the strong hairs up here, up there, and then right there you can take these strong grafts and put them here and everything will be fine. Everything will be fixed. Well, unfortunately not. The thing is, it's an entire network. It is your body. There are so many things going on. And so this alone, it's a network of blood vessels. That's just one part in the entire equation. And so every graft you extract, and also the punch size, the size of the graft that is extracted, is a hit to that network. Too many hits can cause permanent shock loss because the surrounding hair follicles could die and never come back. Again, because it's a network of blood vessels. If it's impacted too bad, you may experience a shock loss that may not come back, and you don't know it until it's too late. And so what is the ideal range? How can we avoid this type of damage? The ideal range is around 2000 to 3000 grafts. But the average donor area has around 7000 to 10,000 grafts available for a hair transplant. So how do we combine this? How do we combine this lower number with the higher number? How do we still get to this number? How do you get so many grafts moved like these? You do it by not moving them all at once, because the lower number of grafts, the less damage, the lower risk of overharvesting, the better the recovery as well, because it's easier to recover. The body doesn't have to work as hard to recover, so it can also recover more quickly. And ultimately, the more grafts you have available for future hair transplants. By the way, if a healthy donor area has around 7,000, 10,000 grafts, that doesn't mean you can instantly extract that number of grafts from it. But you may get to that number if you do it in steps. You don't do it all at once. So if you do get 3,000 done at once, 3,000 grafts, you risk your donor area could get too damaged, like you have maybe permanent shock loss, which can absolutely happen. You have higher risk of overharvesting because maybe the clinic doesn't exactly know what the density is to what they're working with. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, and maybe they extract too much, and then you are done anyway. And you also have a lower chance of donor and recipient zone success for the reasons I stated already. And then there are people that are looking at this video or maybe on other videos and think like, or posts, Reddit posts can be very common. But I got 5,000 done, I'm fine. I got 4,000 done, 6,000, 7,000, something like that. I would just say that those people are lucky the donor wasn't damaged too badly, because it's very easy to damage the donor area with that number of grafts. Or, and I think this one is more important, more common, they don't realize how bad the donor area really is, because maybe they got overharvested, but they don't look at it all the time, and then they don't know how bad it is until they go for another hair transplant later. That is very common because these type of hair transplants are often not performed on great hair transplant candidates. It's very likely that these people were already very gone basically. They had very progressed hair loss, for example, number 3, 4, 5, maybe even higher. And maybe they decide not to take, for example, a 5-AR blocker like finasteride or dutasteride. Maybe they don't maintain, and if they don't maintain, it will keep getting worse. They will need another hair transplant in the future. And so this is just a really big risk that I would not take. Even if you do have the donor area, don't do it all at once, because the risk, the long-term risk, are just too high in my opinion. So circling back to the title, what's the graft limit per hair transplant? What I would do is to aim for 2,000 to 3,000 per hair transplant, and for the best results, you may have to accept that you have to do a hair transplant twice or more. I personally had my first hair transplant done, which was 1,700 grafts, because I have very bad donor area. It's not dense at all. So only 1,700 grafts, and that's my first one. I still need 2 more. I need another hair transplant for my crown, and I need another hair transplant for my temples on both sides. So that's the journey that I am on, because I know what my situation is and I know what is required to get to the state where I want to go. I'm still not done with that journey. I'm here to make videos to help you not make the same mistakes I did, because I only got started when I was like Norwood 5, something like that. My hairline almost touched my crown. That's how bad it was. And so this strategy is literally my only way that I can ensure I can have a good hair transplant result, that I will extract the right number of grafts and get hair that I will ultimately be happy with and that will keep forever. By the way, I'm using finasteride for 3 years now. So that's something I want to add as well. And if you want help with your own hair transplant, you want help with choosing the right clinic the first time, preparing for a hair transplant, or want to make sure you keep your hair, because many people make very simple mistakes. I see it nearly every day in hair loss communities. If you want any help with that, check the link in the description below, book a call, and on that call we can see if working together is a great option for you. That's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. If you have any other questions regarding hair transplant, put them in the comments below. I will read them and maybe I'll make a video about it. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.